Bad J, what's up? What's up? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. One, two, three. How's my sound? Perfect, perfect. Envios, When Moon, how you doing? Crypto Simp, perfect, perfect. Mr. T, awesome, awesome. Thought I would jump on live for a few minutes, probably more than a few minutes. Lead Trance, what's up? Let me pop this chat out. Nothing much, Lead Trance, just working a lot, relaxing. My dog just had some surgery, so taking care of the dog as well. Some major surgery. So, Lee Trance, how you doing though? Scott Ellis, fired up about Goguen? Most definitely. Most definitely. I had a couple topics that I have lined up today to talk about. Finish writing your Wireshark book. What is that? Ryzian, what's up, man? How you doing? Protocol analysis tool. Okay. Okay. So are you analyzing blockchain? You have to tell me about it. Sometimes I wish that we could get more people on this channel while I'm going live so we could have like a Zoom party. I think it would be more interactive because it's kind of difficult to TCP, UDP protocols, not blockchain, but other infrastructure. I've been writing it for 2 years. Oh, well, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Are you self publishing or are you going through some third party publisher? All right. I think Lee Trance, you're going to have to tell us when you release this book so we can go check it out. Haven't decided. Agent wants you to do a third party. It's got to be edited first. All right. All right. Good luck. Juan Carlos Cesar. Is that Cesar or Salzar? I think I see an I. It's going well with the stake pool. It's going well. Our recent epoch, we hit everyone in Scar hit more than our our projected blocks, like 152%, which was like a record. So the rewards were like 8% APR, of course, for the entire year. Of course, 8% returns if we would hit that consistent strategy. The luck thing is a little bit weird. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. I think it all evens out at the end of the day, but I think it's going well. I think it's going well. I think that everyone in my pool, it's 1.99%, so it's relatively a low fee. You're able to get as much on that bottom line as possible, which is wonderful. Linda, how you doing? Baldomero 2K3, what's up? What's up? How you doing? Yeah, Scar's doing well. Scar's doing well. Speaking of Scar, so I want to get right into the first topic that I wanted to talk about today. and it is that Binance Earn program. So I want this chat to be as interactive as possible. So let me know what you think. And there was an article written by Binance, or an article released by Binance, saying that Binance Earn is launching ADA high yield products, and it's topping up to a share of 1 million ADA. They're promising up to 17.49% standard annualized interest rate. So, for the person that's not familiar with staking, this seems abnormally high, given that the current protocol, people are, if you're staking within a good pool, you're probably receiving over 5% annualized interest rate. So, how can Binance be offering 17.49%? But it's always a fine print. They just want to get as many people keeping their ADA on their platform as possible. This way, it encourages them to trade. And at the end of the day, the trading produces fees and it produces revenue for Binance. So, Binance has a different revenue model than other stake pools. So, SCAR doesn't make money from people transacting ADA or sending ADA or trading ADA, but Binance does. So, they're offering this promotion of up to 1 million ADA, but this is mixed up. This is for everyone. So 1 million ADA is not just for one person, given the amount of pledge that you delegate, or given the amount of ADA that you lock up on their platform. You have to lock up ADA in order to receive part of that pot, but it's up to a million. So if you have one person that's has 500,000 ADA locked up, and I think that's the maximum amount you can lock up. If you lock it up for 90 days, you'll get 17.49% over a given calendar year. But of course, it's divided by 365 divided by 90 days. So you're going to be getting higher than the normal, but you're not going to be getting 17.49% unless you do it for the entire year. One of the issues with that is the the entire pool of rewards is only 1 million ADA. So if there are a lot of people with 500,000 ADA, the amount that you'll actually get is going to be less and less and less, because the pool is that 1 million ADA pot pool is eventually going to dry up. So, I mean, if you take 500,000 ADA and you take 17.549%, you're already eating up a lot of the rewards for that 1 million pie. So, don't be distracted by the fact that they're using those numbers, because in reality, you're probably going to be getting a lot less. And there is a minimum staking amount, and there's also a maximum staking amount. So it is not indefinite rewards. And you're all part of that 1 million ADA pool. So these pools are going to be, I mean, Binance is coming out the gate extremely aggressive. And I'm sure that when Coinbase and all the other major exchanges start running pools as well for ADA, it's going to be similar promotions. I mean, they have a million ADA to basically just giveaway, and it's a promotional tool. It's going to be written off at their taxes at the end of the year. And at the end of the day, it's not that much money Binance is actually spending, because what's the price of ADA right now? 10 cents, 11 cents. So we're talking about, I don't know, $100,000, $110,000 for a company that probably revenue wise is probably nine figures. So that's not too much for promotional material for Binance. I would encourage you to stick with those smaller pools, the community pools, and keep on supporting them. You're probably going to receive more at the end of the day with those pools over a longer period of time than you will with Binance. One of the caveats is that you need to make sure that the pool you're delegating to is under 3.5% for an operating fee. I think that anything above 3.5%, you're really doing a disservice to yourself. And if you want to maximize the rewards, I think 3.5% and under, and shoot for those kind of pools. Shoot for the pools that have a decent sized pledge, and that you know who's running the pool. And I think that you're going to outperform this Binance Earn program, because it is limited and you're splitting the pot amongst everyone who's actually holding ADA on that platform. There are a lot of traders on there that don't really care much about ADA, but they have millions or tens of millions or maybe even hundreds of thousands of ADA, but lots of them that are going to eat up this share of the pie pretty quickly. So, is anyone going to keep their ADA on Binance? Ryzen, no thanks. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. So, and you have to lock up the ADA on Binance. I've had issues with Binance before. They actually have money. Um, they have some of my money locked up. They blocked my IP address, this and that, and I just forgot about it at the end of the day because I don't want to go through. Uh, I don't want to go through KYC on Binance. Bad J says no, just a trading bad. All my stuff is in Cardano. Appreciate it. Appreciate that support. Linda says that would be silly unless you're about to trade. Yes, exactly. 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 I agree with you. I agree with you. Speaking about trading and speaking about opportunities in order to maximize your ADA, I have not downloaded the app for Project Catalyst yet, but we are going to be able to vote on all those Project Catalyst projects very soon. And rewards are going to be 20%. So 20% are going to go back to the community. So it's not going to be 20% individually, I don't believe. It's going to be divvied up amongst everyone who votes. I'm not sure exactly how the platform is going to look, what the platform is going to look like, whether we're going to have to download another Daedalus client for Catalyst. And I'm not sure if it's going to import our private key from the previous version of Daedalus and just allow us to vote, or it's going to require us to input our private key again. If that's the case, I'm going to make sure that I research everything before I do it. I'm not gonna participate if it's in like a web client and you have to put in your private key, or I may just put a little bit of money in there and just put it in a different wallet and then put my private key in there. But I think I'll probably skip out. But if it's like a new client that already imports your private key, or it already has the information stored from your previous data list, then I may go ahead and do that and see what I want to vote for. See what I want to vote for. So it's a little bit difficult. It's the beginning, so the process is a little bit convoluted, and this is not considered on-chain governance yet. So we are using a tertiary platform. And at the end of the day, I've heard a lot of the projects. I'm not sure if anyone has watched the Gauntlet series, but we've had 9 people on already present their projects, present their proposals. And some of them are good, some of them are all right, some of them are great, some of them are not so great. And I think that pretty much encompasses all the projects on the Project Catalyst platform. Um, Part of what confuses me is that Goguen is not out yet. I think we're going to be hearing some announcements relatively soon, but even if Goguen does come out this year, I, probably it will. Like there probably will be some iteration of Goguen. I'm not sure exactly what the functionality will look like. So all these projects that are asking for funds, will they actually be able to have full access to the platform in order to build their projects? I'm not 100% sure. Ryzen says it's good to see, and for those who hate their own keys, it works. For Binance, yes, yes. Sabata J says, which voting model would you prefer? Was there a choice in voting models? I wasn't aware of that. I haven't been keeping up. I haven't been watching any recent videos, um, but I didn't know there was a difference in. I mean, as far as ideal voting model, I would like it directly in Daedalus, to tell you the truth, and you're able to like access the proposals just like you're able to access the stake pools. There's some kind of icon where you can click on that and then view all the proposals and then just allocate money towards certain projects or allocate your vote towards certain projects and divvy up your voting power. That would be ideal. But we're a ways away from that. But I think that it's pretty cool that there's going to be voting pretty soon. Once again, I have not downloaded the Project Catalyst app. um, I'll probably look at it sometime this week, but until then, yeah. Let me know what everyone is doing. What are you guys looking forward to? What is everyone looking forward to as far as the voting? What proposals are you looking forward to? Old Pa Sync, how you doing? How you doing? Thanks for joining. Sorry for the dip, everyone. Picked up some more ADA, and it always drops after my buys. Makes my hand stronger. Crypto has been just oscillating. Has some strong moments, and then some strong drops. But Bitcoin has been powering through slowly but surely. But we'll see what goes on. We'll see what goes on. We'll see if we have a quarter four kind of mini bull run, or we're gonna have to wait until next year. Bad J says to be able to delegate voting power because I'm not that smart. Bad J, I'm sure. This is why we did the Gauntlet series on the Cardano effect. It's just to break it down into little 20-minute segments. I guarantee you, if you go and watch those series, you'll be able to figure out exactly what's going on. And if you don't understand what a project is telling you about that particular project, it's probably because it's not that good of a project. Even if it's very advanced, it should be able to you should be able to break it down in a way that you can understand, or anyone can understand, that doesn't necessarily come from a coding background or has any experience in that particular field. So that's my opinion. Yeah, go check it out. I mean, we time stamped it as well. Every single round is 20 minutes. So it's just a 20-minute presentation, 20-minute, 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 20-minute. And it makes it very digestible. So you'll be able to see. I think we may have one more Gauntlet series. Rick and I are planning it, but I think it's a good exposure for these projects. And especially when voting comes, we're going to have to be ready to make an educated decision. And tell you the truth, it's better to vote for something. You don't have to look at all the projects. I would vote for something that you believe in. So you don't have to educate yourself on 50 or 100 projects. Find something that you think appeals to you, do some research, and back that project. Back that project. But at the end of the day, I say that but also we have to understand that this is round 1, or I mean technically round 2, but we don't know what the functionality of Cardano is at the moment. So, for example, all these projects, and I believe there will be announcements very soon this year as far as Marlow and Plutus, but we don't know exactly whether it's going to be full functionality and it's going to allow these projects to actually start building and moving forward with their projects. So, moving forward with their proposal. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Old Passing says an elevator pitch episode with 30 projects, 2 minutes each would be cool. Wow, that would be intense. Agreed. Agreed. I agree with you. I agree with you. At this point, we have to, if a project can't pitch it in 2 minutes, can't do that in an elevator pitch, then it's probably on to the next. It's probably on to the next. Just because a project seems more technically advanced does not necessarily mean, it just increases the difficulty of that particular project and increases the budget. And remember, we're aiming towards mass adoption. So even if it's very technically advanced, it should it should it should be able to solve something that's actually useful, whether that's on an institutional level or an individual level. But I think that something should be announced soon, Marlow or Plutus, and I mean we're almost towards the end of the year, so I'm sure they're working hard, and we'll see. We'll see. It's the end of October, but we'll see whether or not the functionality is complete or whether or not they're going to need to make iterations on their particular on Plutus or Marlow, if that makes any sense. Let's see. Okay, so stake pool strategies. So everyone that's recently come in, what are your stake pool strategies? What are you actually doing right now? Do you move between pools a lot? Are you sticking with one pool? Do you look for certain metrics? Are you getting robbed? Like, are you in a pool with a very high operating fee, greater than 3.5%? Um, what's going on? What's your strategy? Or are you dropping everything and moving to Binance since you heard that announcement and keeping it in Binance? I guess everyone is just I guess everyone is staying put. I guess everyone is staying put. Mr. T, you just stick with one and let it roll. I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the way to do it. Scott Ellis says, I'm delegating to two pools that I got to know during the ITN. No interest in Binance. Perfect. Perfect. OTT to own. I missed the Binance announcement. What are they going to offer? Higher APY or what? Yes, they're offering, depending on how much you delegate, the annualized interest rate ranges from 7.69% for a 30-day lockup period to 17.49% for annualized interest rate for a 90-day lockup period. The max you can lock up is 500,000 ADA, and there's a maximum amount of reward that gets distributed as well. They only have a million ADA in that prize pot, so once that million is up, that annualized interest rate will go back to normal, and they probably will be offering sub the amount. Like for example, pools are offering quality pools right now are very good pools are offering over 5%. They're hitting over 5% annualized interest returns and annualized interest rate on your ADA. Given that after this 1 million ADA is depleted, which is going to be relatively quickly, it's only 100,000 or $110,000 at the current price level. And given the amount of Binance customers, that's going to be eaten up pretty quickly. They're likely going to return to their regular business model. They are running pools, but remember, they're going to be taking a cut before they pay each individual person. This is just a tactic to get you to put your ADA on Binance. And after the depletes, which is going to be relatively quickly, then you're going to be starting to earn probably lower rewards than community pools. I would suggest that you stick with community pools, and I think your return rate is going to be higher over a longer period of time. It's all going to average out. Given that you're delegating to a pool that has 3.5% operating fee or better. No CSM1. I am in one stake pool, but here's the question: which stake pool stats are legit? Well, look at various different metrics. Look at the owner that is running that particular pool. Look at the pledge. Look at the operating fee, and look at how much actual ADA's in that particular pool. Whether or not that pool is making blocks. You can also see their annualized interest rate or their return on investment or return on stake, and make your decision. There are various different factors of how you can choose a pool. The pothead says, I'm sticking with my pool. Good, good. Jack says, staying long term. Mr. T says, up to 17%. Yes. Bad J says, it makes no sense in and out of a pool. Just got to wait until you delegate more than one. Good point. Gene Pasker says, never delegating with an exchange, not your keys, not your crypto. That is 100% correct. Old Pa Singh says, I researched the pools, chose the most likely to make blocks, and delegated to them. Then I monitored to make sure my choices were correct. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And sometimes the pools that you are in receive lower rewards in one epoch and then higher rewards in the next epoch. For example, SCAR, like last epoch, we were up to 8.6% because we hit like 150% of the blocks that were signed to us, but the previous one before we were under 100%. So it's like it oscillates, but everything evens out at the end. Sometimes pools are very lucky during one epoch, and sometimes they're not so lucky. Hello, is ADA pools legit? Yes, it should be legitimate. Yes, I use ADA pools. L Marshall says Binance, no bit license. Y'all have fun. Linda says 3% or below fee and known operator, stick with it. I like that strategy. I like that strategy. Yeah, no reason why you should be delegating the pools with high operating fees at this point in the game. I thought the game was different during the ITN, but at the moment you don't really need to have a an expensive setup to run a pool. So stick with pools with lower operating fees. Mr. C says I stake with Engine, or that would be just 9. Why would I switch to Scar? I'm willing to. Honest question. Well, I mean, it's your choice. You really, I don't. I mean, either way, I'm fine with how you stake as long as you're staking, as long as you're staking the community pools. At the end of the day, you see me. I don't know how many times you've been on this live stream, or I don't know how many times you've been on this channel, but I've been around for a while, and I'm here. I'm in the flesh. So, I'm not going to be baiting and switching people when prices of ADA goes high. It's not like I'm going to be exiting that pool or removing my pledge and affecting the rewards of all the delegators. I've stuck to my strategy. I've outlined the strategy and I'm going to stick with it. Scott Ellis says, do you think they'll raise the A0? I don't, probably in the future, but it's going to be very gradual. Everything is very gradual. I think they should have started off with a very high A0. This would have encouraged higher pledge amounts, and this would have encouraged more ADA to be locked up, to tell you the truth. Kello Crypto says, I'm in the USA, not taking a chance on Binance. I'm sticking with my pools. Perfect. The Pothead says, I'm in Scar Pool, very happy and thankful. Oh, appreciate you, Pothead. Appreciate you. I like that the Pothead. I appreciate you though. Ryzen says, hit that like. Thank you. Hello says, any pools we should be avoiding? Heard a few pools. We're keeping all the rewards. Yeah, if you have an operating fee, if you have a pool's operating fee that's going to be higher than a certain percentage, then I think that you should avoid it. Um, once again, if you know the person that's running the pool, it helps a lot. And then just make sure that you're sticking with the pool with lower operating fees. I think that's key. L Marshall says it's time to upgrade the website, make it look slick. Your pool's looking great. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just haven't had the time, but I need to make some time for sure. I need to make some time. I've I've had a lot on my plate, but it's definitely something that I've thought about and I've written out some plans. And I mean, I had something else to share today, but things just need to get done. I've been managing a lot, so Mr. T says no, it's like engine. Okay, engine. Okay, sorry. The text is small. So like engine. Okay. I think I'm going back to when your pool was having problems at first. Now it is solid. Yeah, I mean, we had problems during the ITN when we were running the pool in the ITN, but now, I've trimmed down the operations. I figured out exactly what's going on. Sometimes the luck is good, sometimes the luck is not so good, but I think the pool is doing solid. Climbing, climbing the charts. It's slowly climbing the charts. So I'm happy with it. Very satisfied. No, no CSM1 says if we were focused on mass adoption, then how hard would it be to build a plug and stake pool machine so my friend can be a stake pool operator? I mean, I guess it would be easy, but I, I mean, relatively easy. But I mean, what's the actual purpose? Because I mean, as far as the K factor and the A0 factor, you have to have a certain number of ADA actually delegated or pledged to your pool in order for you to start creating blocks. So this plug and play machine, it's not necessarily going to be profitable because unless you can attract a lot of delegation, then there's an issue. Um, I, it's a difficult question. It's a difficult question because if you do a small machine that's already packaged and you just plug it in, like an ASIC miner or something like that, then you could have thousands and thousands and tens of thousands. It's going to be so diluted. The fact that most of these pools are never going to be earning blocks, it's actually more profitable for you to actually delegate to a pool than for you to run your own like turnkey pool. unless you have a lot of delegation to start off with, or unless you have just, you just have a lot of connections in that sense. But most of the pools are going to be floundering, and it's just going to create bloat, in my opinion. Just a lot of bloat. Um, I think that A0 should have been higher to start off with, and this would have minimized the pool bloat that's happening now. I mean, there are a lot of pools that don't get noticed just because there are so many, so much competition. So making that solution, it would just increase the competition. And it's not necessarily that the pools that you're delegating to are that expensive to start off with. The operating fees are probably less than what you would pay for actually running a stake pool. If you're paying 1-2% of an operating fee for a year, I mean, that's barely anything per epoch. That's barely anything. If you have a million ADA that you're pledging to a pool and it's averaging 5%, 50,000 ADA that you'll be receiving for the year, and then you're going to pay let's say 1.99%, because that's SCAR. You're going to be paying 995 ADA for a given calendar year in just stake pool operating fees. Spread that over 73 epochs, and it's relatively a low price. I mean, that's 995 given at a 10-cent price. That's around, what is that, $100? 90 to $100 for $1 million of play, $1 million of delegation. You're paying someone $100 a year in order to run a stake pool, pay for those resources, pay for their time and stuff like that. Spread that out over 12 months. Just for you says all in scar. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Don't drone do it. Says Scar is the best pool out there. I appreciate that. Drone do it. Drone duet. OTT2Own says, is Goguen on schedule for end of the year or quarter one of next year? Which projects would you love to see migrate from Ethereum over to Cardano? Um, I I don't know. I mean, I think it's on schedule for the end of the year. I think we're going to be hearing things soon, about Marlow and Plutus, but I'm just not 100% sure about the functionality of those platforms, to tell you the truth. Whether or not they're going to be more like testnet beds, or whether they're going to be the full version. Is it going to be like just some sort of demo that you can see, or demo that you can use with not a lot of functionality, or is it going to be the complete thing? Because if we take the ITN for Shelly, it took a while before it hit mainnet, and there had to be a lot of iterations that happened throughout that entire process in order to fix it. We can't assume that releasing Marlow or releasing Plutus on day one, if it was next week or the week after or in a month, it's going to be fully functional on day one. Just given the track record of what happened with Shelly, we're going to need some time uh, in order to test it. And there are going to be flaws, there are going to be some glitches, and it's going to take a while. So, and what projects would you love to see migrate from Ethereum over to Cardano? Um, I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know. I want to have a little bit more fun. So all that yield farming that's going on in Ethereum, that would be fun over in Cardano. That would be fun. But I think that's bloat as well. But I'm not 100% sure, to tell you the truth. Maybe some privacy coins would be great. Some privacy coins would be wonderful. Gene Pasker says, this is the time to build a reputation for the future. Yes, yes. Mr. T says, I just switched to Score. I always watch your live streams and I've been following you for a while. So why not? I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Scott Ellis says, other than IOHK, what's the biggest whale you've seen? Like spoken with or talked to? I definitely know, I don't know anyone personally that has like, I don't know any mega whales. I mean, I've talked to people that have a ton of money, but it's not like a ton of ADA, but it's not like I have a personal connection with those people. I mean, face to face, I don't know. I've never met anyone face to face that has like 10 million plus ADA, but I've talked to people that have large amounts of ADA, if that makes any sense. No CSM1, got it, makes sense. Yeah. No CSM1 says, okay, so Goguen happens, then what? Is there that much pent up demand, or are people looking for price action from the release? There's a lot of pent up demand because Goguen is going to be. I mean, this is what to tell you the truth, this is a bigger release than Shelly. I mean, if you really think about it, Shelly is great. Proof of stake is great, but since the beginning, there's been this rhetoric that's been passed about what's the next Ethereum killer or what's the next version of Ethereum. What's next? What's next? And the only way we're going to find out what's next is from Goguen. When smart contracts release, we're going to be able to mark ourselves in this in crypto. Like I mean, this is the epitome of cryptocurrency right now. So it's which platform can build superior smart contracts that remove the bloat, that remove these high fees, that's easy to use, that's developer friendly, that has a large community. So if all these things mix, this is what defines Cardano, and this is what's going to take us to that next level. So Goguen is, I think, the most important thing in the roadmap. Shelly is wonderful, but Goguen is that next level because otherwise we're just exchanging funds at the end of the day right now. We are creating some sort of passive income. We're creating passive revenue income streams, but without the smart contracts, eventually it's going to stagnate. But if you have proof of stake, this passive income for people to earn money, if you have voting, and then if you have smart contracts on top of that, that's what makes this not first generation or second generation. That's what makes it third generation blockchain. And it's really what's going to set us apart. So we'll see. Dutch Griffin says, I just set up my staking pool with Scar, but do I have to keep the wallet open? So if you delegate to Scar, no, you don't have to keep the wallet open. So whichever pool you choose to delegate to, you do not have to keep that wallet open. You can go ahead and close data lists. You can check in one epoch or two epochs or three epochs. But remember, as soon as you delegate, your ADA is not going to go live until that next epoch, and you won't start getting paid until two epochs after that for the previous two epochs. So you're going to start earning rewards next epoch, but the issue is you're not going to get paid until two epochs after that. So you want to wait for at least 15 days, sometimes 20 days to start earning your rewards from that pool. And you will get that back pay from the pool that you just left. So because it's a 2 week delay, you're going to still get paid from that pool for those two subsequent weeks, if that makes any sense. One of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about, or talk to people about, is because who said mass adoption just recently? I'm not sure. Oh, no CSM said something about mass adoption. If we're focused on mass adoption, so I find it very interesting because a lot of people that are not involved in cryptocurrency or even involved in cryptocurrency don't exactly understand what Cardano is or what Cardano does or what the purpose of Cardano is or what the purpose of blockchain in general is. There's a gap between the average person, or the average investor, and cryptocurrency. You explain to someone, you explain to a friend, you explain to a family member that you're earning some sort of passive income, that you have certain goals in order to create these revenue streams. And ultimately, we're all in this right now as far as delegating to figure out exactly, oh, we're going to start getting paid per epoch. And let's extrapolate what the price is in 5 years or 10 years or 5 months or 10 months or 2 years. And will we be able to maybe live off of our ADA rewards in a couple of years? Or will we be able to pay off a bill or pay off our utility bills or pay off our car note or our car loan or your mortgage every month just on ADA rewards? I think that's a lot. That's the way a lot of people are looking at it. That's the reason why people get into individual stocks, and they pick those stocks that pay dividends. It's the same concept, except that in Cardano, you're getting roughly over 5% for your earning income for a given calendar year. But you also have a massive appreciation of that asset. So of course, it could be a massive fall as well, but 10-cent ADA could lead to 50-cent ADA, could lead to a dollar ADA at some point, and your rewards are just going to multiply. The value of your rewards are going to multiply as the price increases. So while it doesn't seem feasible now, but you look towards the future and you're like, oh, when ADA hits a dollar, I'm going to be making 10 times the amount of what I'm making right now. So if I'm making, I don't know, $5 per epoch, or if I'm making $10 per day right now on my rewards and ADA hits a dollar, all of a sudden I'm going to be making $100 a day. Or if I'm making $20 a day now and it does a 20x, then I'm going to be making this and this and this. And I'm getting off tangent, but when you speak to family, when you speak to friends about diversifying your funds and seeing different assets to invest in order to create these revenue streams, people in this chat see it. People in this chat know how to delegate. People in this chat know what is going on. So there needs to be a way for us to bridge that information to the everyday person, to make them understand that this is an opportunity. It's a speculative opportunity, but there's an opportunity to create some sort of passive revenue income stream while securing a network, while participating in blockchain technology, while not condoning these currencies that aren't backed by anything. They have a fixed supply at the end of the day. There's just a lot of information that needs to be spread, and I think that we need to break down the information in the best way possible. So, I mean, like last year when I was starting Scar, um, when I was starting Scar last year with my team, I was thinking about promotional material in order to try to get people to understand what was going on within the ecosystem. So I had an idea. I sketched it out. I purchased a template. I was going forward with it. I wanted to release it for quarter 4 of last year, but things were delayed, and it was the ITN, and it wasn't feasible as far as just like I was putting my own money on it, and it didn't really make sense at the end of the day because I was like, I'm putting a lot of work into this and I wanted to see a return on investment, but I didn't see a way to create that return on investment. But anyway, um uh I sketched out a game. It was called Cardanopoly. Okay. So it's like Monopoly, but Cardanopoly. So Cardanopoly. So you can create Opoly games. It's not franchised by Monopoly. Opoly, you can use the word Opoly. But I had every single space written out what it was going to go through. So it was going to go through like different eras of Cardano, and I mean, it was just going to be a traditional Monopoly game, but every space was going to be ADA based. So whether you land on Plutus or whether you land on Marlow within the smart contracts realms, or whether you're in Shelly and you're within stake pools, or whether you have to pay some sort of like kind exchange tax, or I mean, different, like, there was various different places that you can land on, like FUD for like chance, and go to jail cards, and I had everything mapped out. And I think, like, while it's like a very abstract idea, like, I think like these kind of ideas, these physical kind of products that you could put in front of someone, you could put in someone's home, you can put in front of a family, that they could play, or that they could see it, they can actually touch it, they can actually understand what's going on. I mean, even the pieces I had a specific design for each of the metal pieces, whether it was going to be the ADA symbol. It was very intricate. And then people playing this game with their family, and as they're playing it, they're educating themselves. Each property represents something within the Cardano ecosystem, and there's enough within Cardano to create an entire monopoly game, whether that's Goguen, whether that's Haskell, whether you're talking about the treasury, your Yoroi, whether you're talking about data lists, whether you're talking about nodes, relay nodes, core nodes, I mean, edge nodes. I mean, there are so many different things that you can play with, and so many different things that you can teach. And creating these collector like objects for people to play with, I think, is extremely important. And I think that moving into the future, if we can if we can create some of these physical products, I think it would be great. I had an idea like, okay, let me create this Cardanopoly game, and then I'm gonna slap it on Amazon. Okay, and then have it ready for the quarter 4. People can buy it as holiday gifts. We get the Cardano community to support, boost up that ranking within Amazon. All of a sudden, wait a minute, is a hot seller toy, and you're someone that's buying their Legos for their kid or a Monopoly version for their kid, all of a sudden is also sees Cardanopoly ready to go. So it's like these are the type of things that we need in order to start bridging the gap with everyday people. Get this stuff, get products like this on Amazon, and push it and push it and push it. And I think that this could really something like this would move forward. I don't know whether or not I'm going to move forward with this, but if I do, that would definitely be my idea. Make a nice collectible version of a game or something like that that people could use, they could treasure, make it some kind of limited edition thing, put some quality behind it. And all of a sudden, if we get enough support from people within Cardano, then all of a sudden it's a bestseller on Amazon, and people don't know whether or not they're going to buy their kid the next Lego game, whether they're going to buy him Super Smash Brothers, whether they're going to buy him PS5, or whether they're going to buy him Cardanopoly. So that's my thought process. But I had literally have like 25 to 30 pages of notes that I wrote last year, and I was going to release it as promo. I was going to release it as kind of a marketing tool also for Scar, but I never went forward with it because I started spending the money, and then I realized how much money it was going to cost, and then I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to get a return on investment here. So, I mean, stake pools themselves don't make as much money as people think. So it's like, maybe in the future, let's see. Wade Wilson. Thanks, Wade Wilson. I appreciate you. You can't beat me. Ada Sound. Opa Sync. Shift for Change says, "Hey, remember me? Will you disclose what crypto you're holding?" No, no, I'm not going to disclose what crypto I'm holding. I'm holding ADA, by the way. I'm holding ADA. I'm holding ADA. ADA is actually not my best performing cryptocurrency right now. I mean, I have one crypto project that's been booming. Shift for Change says, "Are you giving this game away?" No, I mean, I haven't even created the game. I just have a whole bunch of notes on it. I just kind of mapped it out, but I haven't created the game. Shift for Change, LOL, no open source. Shift for Change, you can make this game on Cardano, man. Yeah, I contacted the Monopoly factory that creates Opoly games and creates board games. They're somewhere in the Midwest in the United States, made in the USA. Um, I contacted them. I purchased a template. I got price. I've got quotes. So I know how to get it done. I just didn't move forward with it. So I just think it would be interesting to make. I mean, it might be a dumb thing, but I think that like just making something physical is it transcends the digital realm sometimes. And I think that this could actually bring more people to understand what's going on. I mean, imagine if you can get this kind of stuff in a classroom. Imagine if you can get this stuff for people playing like just board games. I mean, right now COVID-19's hits. Like people we're going to be stuck in our homes for a while. As far as, I mean, you can go out, of course, but the world is not going to be normalized for a while. People are sitting home with family, sometimes with friends. I mean, I'm sure I read something that like board games, puzzles, all these at-home activities, like the sales of those things are going through the roof. I mean, when COVID first hit, I heard like 1,000% increase in puzzle sales on Amazon, like jigsaw puzzle sales. So there are a lot of people that are buying in-home entertainment, physical in-home entertainment. So, and there are still a lot of people are laid off, but a lot of people are still working. They have expendable income in order to spend on these trinkets. And I'm- I mean, it's about name recognition at the end of the day. Bitcoin has name recognition. Brazuca says, "How's the house hunting going, dude?" Not well. Not well. Not well. I've 3 offers on houses, but it's bidding wars, and offering what they ask for, but it's always a bidding war. So it's not going well at all. And the prices are just it seems to be increasing. OBX says a DApp would be cool, could do NFTs. Scott Ellis says use the DC fund to make the game. Yeah, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Um, we, Cardano effect went on a DC fund, and what happened with that? That was I don't know if I want to be beholden to that for another project. Like, but I kid you not, I have between 25 to 30 pages of notes of the game that I mapped out, and I did this last year, and it just kind of been kind of sitting. Lawrence McDonald says a jigsaw of the Cardano logo would keep you indoors for 5 years. Wade Wilson says, I like that name, Cardanopoly. Yeah. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It rolls off the tongue. It rolls off the tongue. My get out of jail free card, my get out of jail space was failure to report taxes, and just go directly to jail. The get out of jail free card, I had this on another page. I have to look that up, but my go to jail was um, failure to report taxes. And that's the thing, like I think, like I mapped this out a year ago when the knowledge of Cardano was a lot less than what it is now, and obviously it increases more and more and more and more. The game would be even better, or maybe even making like a Shelly type edition, or where we can get pools to actually put spaces on boards. That would be pretty cool, right? Mr. T says, I want them a Cardanopoly game. Yeah, you see, I mean, everyone's trying to teach their children about financial literacy, especially nowadays. I mean, the entire system is so messed up. We're in how many $1 trillion of debt? The next generations are going to be going through extremely rough times just financially. I mean, this can't go on forever. Money printing can't go on forever, or maybe it can. I don't know. But financial literacy is extremely important. And yeah, so Brazuca says, yeah, I live here in the South Shore of Montreal, where the price jumped by 35%. Glad I bought my house 2 years ago. COVID increased the price outside of downtown because everyone working from home is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, literally, I made 3 offers, full price, full price. I mean, went to the houses the day after they're listed on Zillow, like called the realtor immediately, scheduled the showing, and it's sold already. It's sold already. People are asking for more than what the house what the owners are selling it for. And it's already has like a 50, $75,000 premium on top on the house already. It's not even worth as much as what they're saying. You still have to go in and make changes to it. It still needs some kind of renovation. And it's like impossible. I don't understand how people purchase houses. I really don't. Marvin Enlow says Hex, maybe pretty cool, should be addressed. Wade Wilson says make the game flip. The go space, the first space is Genesis block. You collect 200 ADA as you pass, and then it has a little mint sign with an arrow. Space 101, like those Baltic properties, those terrible properties would be Exchange Wallet and Treasury. Um, Space 4 would be like 104, which would be the like kind exchange tax. So you either pay 10% or you pay 200 ADA. And I think it could be well designed, but even the metal pieces have to be molded in a certain way. And the cash would need to be resemble it would need to resemble ADA currency. And another flaw that I have is that I can't draw at all. I can visualize things, but I can't draw well at all. I have an artist that I work with for my other business, but it's kind of hard to get an artist to draw something that the concept is hard for them to understand to start off with. Like, you need an artist that understands Cardano in order to create great Cardano art, if that makes any sense. Because although the artist that I work with is really good and I've used them for a lot of things, it's like you're telling someone to draw something so abstract that they may not understand the complete vision of what you're trying to get. I contacted the Cardano Foundation too to see what the issues with trademark policies are, and I mean they seemed open to it. I mean I would have to send them a complete rough draft before, including the art, before I would even go there, before I could even get it printed or manufactured. But I'm telling you, getting something like this on Amazon, getting those reviews up, legitimate reviews from Cardano enthusiasts who like it, it would be it would kill the game. There's not even one for there's Bitcoin doesn't even have that kind of stuff on, you know, on Amazon. I mean, Bitcoin has their books. You can buy the books from Andreas Antonopoulos, but let me keep it real. Most people, they don't want to read that. They don't want to read that. I'm telling you. Crypto enthusiasts want to read that. Most other people, they don't want to read that. Just I'm not even lying to you. Kyle Bessie says, "Do you know of any training that could help us prep for a Goguen release?" Well, I know that Emergo is working on a lot of courses. I'm not 100% sure what courses they're working on, whether they're working on Plutus or Marlow courses, because it seems to fluctuate a lot. And I know that they are planning to release a lot of educational material. So I would probably keep in touch with Emergo and see what they're doing and allow them to guide you in the direction that they want to guide you. I think that you should also open up a I think you should also explore the forum and see what kind of developers are on there. But I think it's going to become extremely apparent as soon as Gogen's released. Like, for example, no one understood the interest of running a stake pool until stake pools were actually released. Like, even in the ITN, it was astonishing to see how many people spun up a pool. And even during the mainnet, people just came out of nowhere. Because as soon as there's money involved, people are just going to come out the woodworks. Shift for Change says, "Can't give up, man. You guys will get funded. Maybe ask people what you should change or add to make them happy." Oh, as far as like the Cardano Effect podcast, yeah, I mean, Rick and I have actually talked about a lot of, uh, some different strategies of how we're going to come back with the next fund. At the end of the day, we feel like we've added a certain level of value for the Cardano Effect, and we've put in the time. And yeah, I mean, we just want to get paid. We want to put more time into Cardano. Like we want to, I, what we're asking for is not even, it's not even full time, but we want to make, like, I think it's healthy to want to make a full time salary in crypto, to want to wake up and do it full time. And, you know, at the end of the day, we can provide a platform for people to get exposed to people that are working on projects within Cardano. And, yeah, there are a lot of things that we could do with the Cardano effect and take it to the next level, but it has to make sense. It has to make sense. At the end of the day, I kid you not, that our proposal, and I know it's going to sound like I'm talking smack, but our proposal for Fund Two actually made one of the more like it made more sense than a lot of projects, solely because people are voting for proposals that you know Goguen is going to release, Marlow, Plutus. But when is it going to release? Are the project's going to even be able to work on what they're promising? Like the product is not even released yet in its full functionality. And for us to even expect that, even if it releases next week or the week after, do we really expect that it's going to have 100% full functionality? when the ITN took how long to get to the mainnet? I mean, it's it, and the amount of glitches that happen with the ITN. So the smart contracts are just going to be worry free. I don't think so. I don't think so. So what if the funds that you're voting for in Fund Two can't even start working on their project until 6, 8 months, 10 months from now? That's crazy, right? So all of a sudden, the Cardano effect proposal doesn't sound so crazy because at the end of the day, the Cardano effect proposal, I mean, Cardano effect is still going to happen. I mean, we're still going to shoot episodes. It's not like we're going to take a 6, 8 month hiatus before we start shooting episodes. So Mr. T says, is Boardwalk Charles's house? Boardwalk was staking at, so once again, I wrote this a year ago. So Boardwalk was staking, but I should change it to Charles's house. We should get a mold of Charles's house, where they have the little green and then the green little apartments, and then I think, are they called apartments? And then the red houses, or the green houses, and then the red like apartment buildings. Mold them. Charles, send us a 3D mold of what your house looks like, and then we mold that. Those are the houses. Mr. T says, "Hey, nobody taught me about financial literacy growing up. It's a different world." Yeah, it needs to be taught. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this world is just brutal. It is brutal. And if you don't understand financial literacy, you're really at a disadvantage, and it's only going to get tougher. It's going to get tougher. We're going to pay for everything we've done. It may take 5 years, it may take 10 years. The latest stimulus package, that money that was printed, I mean, it was necessary in order to give the economy a boost. But at the end of the day, what we won't feel now, it's going to be felt in a couple years, or 4 years, or 5 years, or it's going to catch up. It's going to catch up. It's going to catch up. Old Pa Singh says, I'm in escrow now, and if it falls through, I'll be raising the sales price. Oh, wow. Wow. Old Pa Singh, where are you moving? And I'm glad you're in escrow. That sounds fun. Or maybe it sounds kind of stressful. And do you have a lot of pressure to move ASAP, or and if it does fall through, I hope you're able to raise the price and sell. Marvin and Lau says, I am not in Hex, but I see the people in it are passionate about the long term. Are you Hex the cryptocurrency? Okay. Kyle, no, not a problem. Not a problem. Greg Adapool says, same here in Laval, Quebec. Price increases everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, you know, I live in the South. I don't want to dox myself or say where I am at the moment. I mean, I'm sure you can find it out. I probably said it before. But people from the North, like people from New York and places that have higher expendable income, they make more money in cities. Like they make more money in cities. They're moving to more rural and suburban locations. So it's like you're competing against people that like they may live in Manhattan and then see like a one bedroom or two bedroom for like $1 million or $2 million. And all of a sudden, like that's expensive. It's extremely expensive. They probably can't afford it. But then they come down south and see a house with a backyard and maybe with a pool with, I don't know, 4 bedrooms, maybe 2,000 square feet, and it's 400, 500,000, maybe it's 300,000 depending on where in the south you are. So all of a sudden it's like a no-brainer for them. If they're moving from the north down to the south, they're going to buy those houses, and they're actually competing against the local population that makes less than them. So it makes it even more difficult. Like the demand is extremely high. And in addition, the houses are just trickling out because people are not listing their houses due to COVID. And there's a lot of financial uncertainty. So I feel like a lot of people rather take that, they see how like tumultuous the situations are, and maybe they would have sold if all this stuff didn't happen. But now it's like, I don't know what the future holds. So I might as well just stay in this house. So, and it's unfortunate because you always want to wait and time the market. But when you want to buy a home, you want to buy a home. When you're tired of renting, you're tired of renting. It's just the story of what's going on. Shift for Change says maybe make a video of for people on how to vote and tell them the story about the Cardano effect. I didn't know you guys had a fund or how to vote. Oh, we pulled our fund. We pulled our fund a while ago. Um, yeah, I don't know what exactly the voting process is going to look like. IOG should be releasing some videos, but I don't think it's going to be relatively difficult. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to have to use some sort of we're going to have to download a new version of Daedalus, and it's going to import our previous private keys, or we're going to have to, I don't know, put it online somewhere or something like that, which I'm opposed to. So we'll see. We'll see. Old Pa Singh says we're leaving California to go to Arizona. Rule to rule move for us. Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. I hope you can get more for your money in Arizona. I have beef with California, by the way. I just business issues. I don't want to get into it, but California taxes don't make any sense at all, at all. And I don't know why that state feels like they can tax people that don't live in that state. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, any proposals that people are looking at that they enjoy, if you've watched a gauntlet, are there any proposals that you've watched in the gauntlet? We've had 9 so far. Did you see anything that you enjoyed? Old Pa Sync is California is not business friendly and state tax will soon be 16.8%. That's wild. That is wild. That's wild. No, it's not business friendly at all. I was talking with the state of California franchise tax board today, trying to figure something out, and I learned that well, first of all, California taxes businesses that are outside of California that don't have a nexus within California, and the minimum tax per year, like even if you break even or take a loss on your taxes, you got to pay a minimum of $800 per year, which doesn't make any sense because if a business is taking a loss and they're not even they don't even exist in California. But even if they exist in California, minimum business tax is $800. $800, that's the minimum. Even if you take a loss, you got to pay $800 per year, which doesn't make, I don't understand how small businesses exist with that kind of nickel and diming approach. I don't understand. And it would be understandable that they took that $800 and they had a surplus in their budget. But last time I checked, I thought that California was broke. I thought they had a huge deficit. I read somewhere that California is the world's ninth largest economy. Ninth largest economy. So I don't know. If you're nickeling and diming the constituents of your state and taking money also from people outside the state, then your finances should be correct. I don't know. If I was taxing people this much money, I would have money to pay for things. I don't know. Brazuca says, dude, Quebec taxes are pretty intense. So, yeah, we are more on the tax province in North America, I think. I bet taxes in Quebec are intense. Brazuca says, still love Montreal, though. Best place to raise a family, in my opinion. Yeah, I've been to Montreal once. I've been to Canada once. I went to Toronto and I also went to Montreal. I like Toronto better than Montreal, but I climbed that big hill. I forgot what it's called in Montreal. We biked up. It was extremely difficult, but it was very rewarding. I thought it was a beautiful view of the city afterwards. Kello Crypto says liquid finance. Oh, with DC. Yeah, that was solid. That's solid. I think I'm gonna be setting something up with DC on this channel. I don't know. I'm gonna be talking to him, so we're gonna see what we're gonna do. We've been in communication. DC is an OG in crypto, by the way, and in Cardano. So like I've never met him personally, but we've talked for a while, like since like I first started my YouTube channel. We connected. Old Pa Singh says you can bypass the $800 business tax if you can be a sole proprietor and perhaps buy E&O insurance for safety. E&O insurance. What is that? Let me see. Errors and emission insurance. Interesting. Did not know that. Bruce City says Montreal gets more for their taxes than Californians do. Probably, probably. Red Green Blue says I enjoyed DC's proposal. He's a pretty professional sounding guy and has a great vision. It all comes to Goguen, though, I guess. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Maneem J123, hello from Toronto. How are you doing? How are you doing? Toronto's a beautiful city, by the way. When I first went to Toronto, I when I was walking through the streets, I was like, this is a clean version of New York City. It's just really nice. It's really nice. I don't think it's as densely populated. And they have some great bike paths there. And it's a pretty cool city. You getting ready for the cold? Yeah, that's the rough. That's rough. That's rough. So I just purchased this new microphone, by the way. It's the Shure SM7B. And then I have an audio interface recorder, a Zoom H6 with a cloud lifter. I spent a little bit of money on this audio set. I'm not 100% sure if I have all the settings correct, but I feel like the sound I'm getting to a better and cleaner sound. Next thing I need to do is buy a new computer, which I'm looking for right now. Bridge Kong says you look like you're about to pull up a beat and rap about Cardano. Bruce City says Toronto is awesome. When I was in grade school and visited Toronto, I was struck how incredibly more clean than Milwaukee and Chicago it was. Cars respect pedestrians too. Back then, anyways. Yeah, it is a clean city. It is a clean city. Old Pa Singh says, I'm hoping cryptocurrency will create a seamless, secure NFT voting system. Cardano seems to be the leader in this future role. Hopefully, that would be wonderful. Brazuca says, going back to your proposal, I had no issue with your proposal. You and Rick have done so much for the Cardano community, and one day I hope you can do TCE full time with Rick. I hope so too. I think that would be great, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? So I mean, I think it would be. one thing that I think would be very encouraging, if the Cardano effect gets funded for a decent amount of money, enough to pay full-time salaries for Rick and myself and handle our audio engineer, our video engineer, it's going to set an example. Like, people are going to be from the outside. First of all, this is a 3 billion market cap cryptocurrency. So I'm not 100% sure why people are making a big deal for what we asked for. But at the end of the day, we also need to understand that when the narrative gets pushed out and people see that, wait a minute, the podcast guys, Rick and Philippe, the podcast guys are making this in Cardano. Maybe it's time for me to shift my, if the podcast guys can make this, maybe I need to go in and create my business as well. If the podcast guys can do it, then, you know, there's space for my DApp. There's space for this. There's space for that. Because if that amount of money is being used for maybe an educational platform or a way to disseminate information, I think it's going to encourage people to really be creative and really get involved. Red, green, blue, what kind of specs are you looking for into your computer? I don't know. I want top of the line. I need something like, I need I need one of the latest models of, like, I want like an i9 processor. I just need a lot of RAM. I need like I'm not trying to look for a gaming computer per se, but I want like an editing computer where I can edit video footage. So maybe when I shoot videos on my channel, it's more seamless. Right now, I edit on my laptop. This PC is extremely slow. I've upgraded it over the years. I put more RAM in it and made some tweaks and adjustments here, changed the power supply and this and that, put a whole bunch of different little parts in there. But now I feel like I just need something more powerful. I just need a faster processor. So um, I think it's i9 time. Graham says, I'd love to be audio engineer for that. I'm going to watch it anyway. We already have an audio engineer, by the way, working with us since the beginning. So Maneem J123 says, get MacBook Pro, Touch ID, hands down, Mac is the best. First of all, I've been using PCs my entire life. So I don't necessarily know how to use Macs are extremely confusing to me. I don't really like them. I don't like them. I mean, I've used a Mac before, but it's just very confusing. I mean, when you're on a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, you go down to the bottom tab. Like, I can't function. Things are like jumping up and down. I like Windows a lot better. I like Windows a lot better. It's just, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. And maybe it's just because I just haven't spent a lot of time with Macs whatsoever. But I like being able to tinker with PCs more than you can do it with Macs. I can open up a PC. You can't really open up a MacBook. I guess you can, but everything is soldered together and it prevents it. You prevent yourself from upgrading. I like things that are a little bit more modular and you can like plug and chug. I mean, I brought my PC back to life. I just completely renovated it. And yeah. So CSI says once you go Mac, you can never go back. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, old Pa Singh says for video editing, get a PC with great specs, video card. Yeah, I need a solid video card, tons of RAM memory and SSD drives. Yeah. I mean, my laptop downstairs, I mean, it has 32 gigs of memory and I I think that's the max. That's the max it can hold, but I would rather have like 64 or even with the PC, maybe push it up to like 128 and just get one of those beasts and some SSD drives, of course, and a video card. And this way I can just move through the editing process rather cleanly. And even like live streaming, I want to get, like, I have a Logitech C920, I believe, video cam or webcam, HD 1080p. Um, but like it's sometimes it struggles because the image could glitch sometimes just because the PC itself is just running a lot of things, whether that be my audio platforms, especially when I'm doing TCE. the Cardano effect, and we record on multiple different platforms, it makes it a little bit difficult sometimes. So I want a more seamless experience. And I see the YouTubers out there, they have the DSLRs and then they hook it up to their computer and then they just live stream at that. So the image is crisp. It's like a 4K image. I want to do some 4K streaming. And then I also got to look into that. So I'm also in the market for a nice DSLR. So I've got the audio equipment now, but now I need to get uh DSLR and I need to get, I don't know, a lot of different things. Rich Kong says, "Would you get a Cardano tattoo?" No, no. Unfortunately, I wouldn't. But I know a couple people that would. A couple people I've put in the Telegram group that once it hits $1, they're going to be getting tattoos. So maybe we need to live stream that on the Cardano effect. Would you get a tattoo, Rich Kong? Ant Man says, "I might stake a small amount on Binance." Rich Kong says, "And where can I buy that?" First of all, be careful. First of all, be careful with staking small amount. I mean, you could go ahead and stake small amounts on Binance, but understand the risks. Understand the risks. Rich Kong says, "Where can I buy that shirt, but in black and white?" I bought this like 2 years ago, so I don't even know if people sell it anymore. But I just got 2 new shirts. The Cardano Foundation sent 2 new shirts to me for ambassadors. So I have a shirt that says Cardano ambassadors and a new one that has the Cardano logo on there. I'll put a picture on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, we need some more merch. We need some more merch. I need to release some merch, but I want some creative designs. I keep on saying that. I've said that on multiple live streams and I still haven't done it. So maybe I should stop talking about it. Brazuka says, "Was extremely disappointed with MacBook Pro 16-inch. As a laptop, I'm actually rocking an iPad Pro and it's brilliant. My main PC is a custom built running on Ubuntu LTS. Love it. Solid OS. Awesome. Awesome." Yeah, my little sister has the new iPad Pro and it's a beast. It is a beast. It is a beast. But I still prefer, like, if you were to give me an iPad Pro or like one of those new Surface model laptops, I would probably take the Surface model laptops just because I'm just not a fan of Mac yet. And maybe I just need to sit in front of a Mac for a long period of time and I'll enjoy it. Rich Kong says, "Yes, at $5. Okay, $5 tattoo, Rich Kong. We can stream it on this channel. Stream it on this channel. Where are you going to get that tattoo? My name J123. I'm going to put up Cardano t-shirt store. Do it. Do it. Podhead says, "How many Cardano do you need to be a whale, you think?" I mean, whale status, it's difficult to ascertain because there's like baby whales and then there's mega whales. I would honestly say that if you have upwards to, I don't know, if you have 3 million ADA up, I would consider you some sort of whale status. And you may be just a baby whale at this point of the game, but how much is 3 million ADA right now? That's like $300,000 US, maybe a little bit more, between 300, 350. So I would consider you whale status. And at some point, that 3 million ADA was $3 million, so you'll probably be a whale soon enough. But yeah, 3 million ADA is whale status for me. CSI says, "Why get the tattoo and let everyone know you have money?" Sometimes you got to let the people know. Brazuka says, "iPad Pro with the keyboard is great. Plus, the iPad Pro is a better gaming laptop than anything else. Once Microsoft releases xCloud for iOS, then it's going to be epic." Interesting. Interesting. Bruce City says, "I'm a Lovelace whale." Okay, so you have 3 million Lovelace. That's beautiful. Jago Stake Pool says, "Are you going to open up another pool if K increases?" Um, I mean, if K increases, and So if K increases and the saturation level goes, I mean, it depends to what K increases to. Like for example, SCAR is very far away from being saturated. Um, but if SCAR was ever saturated, yes, I would open up another pool. I would open up another pool, but I don't think we're gonna have that problem anytime soon. I think we're kind of solid in that range of what we're where we are right now, and I appreciate everyone for delegating. I really do. I really do. I'm enjoying it, and it's solid. I'm very grateful. Very grateful. Gil says I love Binance. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic because you have a duck emoji in front of it. Philly Mac, how you doing? How you doing? I appreciate you. Rewards wallet getting fat. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Just keep on stacking, and pretty soon when we hit that next bull run, those daily rewards, you're going to be eating well. Eating well. Get that plate. Get another plate on top of that. Brazuca says Scar has been doing great for me. Last epoch, there was a massive jump in rewards. Yeah, we hit like 152, 156% of the blocks that were assigned to us in epoch, which is wonderful. But it oscillates. Sometimes we go way up, sometimes we go. But overall, I think we're doing very well and we're improving. And I'd like to remind everyone that the operating fees are 1.99%. So we are beating. So even though we might be even a little bit lower ranked or higher ranked than other pools, we're still beating them just based on operating fee. So please understand that. Sassy Boy says, "Are pool operators making any money?" Very little, very little, very little. Well, I mean, I'm speaking for myself. There are certain pool operators that are making a lot more, but for my pool, I mean, I only have one pool, Scar, that is, I don't know, 60, 70 million ADA delegated. So I'm not making a ton of money at all. So it is what it is, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm grateful for everyone that's delegated. But I mean, if you have a larger pool and you have a lot of ADA to that pool, or you have multiple pools, you're making a lot more, obviously. Jago Stake Pool says, "I'm asking because I'm afraid that big pools are going to split up their pools and create multiple ones that will hurt smaller pools a lot." Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's business, and I don't fault people for if you reach saturation point and people like your pool, then split it up. Split it up. Sassy Boy says, "What percentage above the 5% are you making?" I make 1.99% on your 5%, if that makes any sense. So let's run through a back of the envelope calculation. You remember, I have operating costs as well. So let's say you delegate 100,000 ADA to SAR, and we're going to assume a 5%. I mean, I think we're at like 5.3% right now, but we're going to assume a 5% return on your investment for a year, 5,000 ADA. We're not taking into consideration any rewards that get compounded on top of your principal. It's going to be more than 5,000, but just for argument's sake, let's keep the numbers even just so it can be a little bit better. So 5,000 ADA you'll be receiving in a year. Then from that 5,000 ADA, SPAR will take 1.99% of that 5%. It's going to take 1.99% as an operating fee. So you're looking at 99 ADA for an entire year. So divide that by 73 epochs because there's 73 epochs in a year, 5 days per epoch. And you're looking at 1 ADA per epoch, 1.36 ADA per epoch. So how much is ADA right now? Let's say, I don't know, 10 cents, 11 cents. So each epoch, each 5 days, you're paying SCAR 14 cents or 15 cents in order to delegate your pool. And remember, I have fees. I have to pay certain fees in order to run that pool. So I don't understand, go ahead and make a pool if you want, or go ahead and create a pool. But 15 cents is not an issue. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's an issue. But and we're charging 1.99%. There are other pools that are charging multiples of this. So I would encourage you to look for a low cost, low operating fee pool. Go with a an owner that you like, that you can relate with, and then go for it. It doesn't have to be Scar. It could be multiple different pools. Dave051184. Awesome. Awesome. Gail says, any way to stake ADA on Binance then? Guess I could check. I mean, they're going to be staking in their tertiary wallets and then just going to be distributing funds to people. But you won't be able to like choose stake pools, I don't think, from Binance. I don't think so. Tiago says, what do you think about Emergo not talking about a community delegation at this point? I'm not 100% sure. Were they supposed to talk about community delegation? Are they supposed to delegate to community pools? I didn't hear that story. You have to tell me a little bit more about it. Sassy Boy says, what's the incentive for running a pool? Um, I don't. I don't know. I mean, I think eventually it's going to lead to practice. I mean, there are the top tier pools are making some money. I'm not going to lie, they're making some money, but the incentive for other people to be running pools, I don't know. I think at this point it's good practice because when Goguen comes out, you're also going to be able to use a pool or offer these auxiliary services in order to make some money on the side, whether that be processing smart contracts or just running multiple different transactions through your nodes, your relay nodes, and everything like that. So you can be able to get paid for different kinds of services. So I think it's good practice for that. But besides that, I guess just being a top pool. If you're a top pool, I think you're making a decent amount of money. But if not, it is what it's nothing to brag about. Brazuca says, I used to delegate to 4 pools before then, and I only stick to Scar. Set it and forget it. Appreciate that, Brazuca. I appreciate it. K Ross says, I remember some frustrating days back on the ITN. Felt like it took a lot of faith to see this through. What is your stake pool operator experience like now? Feeling much better? Oh, yeah, definitely. It's much better than it was before. There was a lot of gaming of the system back in during the ITN days, and the pools that were actually winning were the ones that were just kind of bending the rules a little bit in order to find certain loopholes in order to win blocks or win slot battles. But now I think it's a much more seamless experience. Luck kind of oscillates. Sometimes you have low luck, sometimes you have high luck, but I feel like it's much fairer now than it was before. Jeremy Livingston says, so where do I find the QR code to vote via the app IOHK that I downloaded? I'm not 100% sure. I haven't downloaded the app yet, to tell you the truth. I would just wait until this week. I think there should be more information coming out this week about exactly what's going to be going on with the voting process. I know that the entire process for Fund 2 has pretty much wrapped up. So that's what it is. I'm going to be waiting until then, and I'm going to be taking it step by step. I'm not in a rush at all. Don't feel like you need to be in a rush because they're going to give you time in order to figure this out, and you're going to be informed. There are a lot of YouTubers out there, and I will also, see if I can make a video as well. Jordan Dean says, tuning in late, my dude, for the record, keep it up. These big guys are going to disrupt the game. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate you. Sassy Boy says, thank you for answering my questions. I just subscribed, sir. Appreciate you. Dave051184 says, people only see what they want to see. It's true. Gail says, you have my respect. Duck. Brazuca says, is there a reason why Scar doesn't have a green checkbox in the Pool Tool app? Just curious. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know who I need to contact to get that green check mark. Green check mark just indicates that it was an ITN pool as well, but we were an ITN pool. But I have a feeling it may be just a matter of just contacting the owners in order to get that green check mark. But I'm not sure how to get that green check mark. It's just more of a aesthetic thing more than anything. But someone can inform me that process. I'll submit whatever I need to submit in order to get that green check mark. Jago says, I'm from the Hispanic community and we as stake pool operators are not making a single penny. This is more like passion for us, but obviously we'd like to have some profits in the future for sure. Well, thanks for sharing, Jago. I appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, it's not a like most of the pools, the smaller pools are not making. I mean, it could be cost prohibitive at some point. It's not. I'm not losing money running Scar, but don't think I'm making money either. So it's like a neutral. I think that you need to have a pool close to saturation, and you probably need to have multiple pools in order to run that business model. Formula E says, "Hey, you mentioned something about increasing K. What is K? Sorry, newbie here. K is like the optimum number of pools. So right now it's 150. So basically, what the protocol is saying that 150 fully saturated pools is the ideal amount of what Cardano is supposed to be. That's supposed to be the pinnacle or the apex of what Cardano decentralization is supposed to be. As K increases, that means that would move the number of pools up and up and up, and that would decrease the saturation point. So there's only a fixed supply of ADA, and if K is 150, that gets divided by 150. So the optimum amount would be that much ADA in 150 different pools. As K increases, the saturation point will decrease because you're dividing that number of ADA by the number of pools. And yeah, so it allows for more and more pools to reach that equilibrium point. But just because K is 150 doesn't mean that there are 150 fully saturated pools or fully pools that are making it. So the higher the K is, it gives smaller and smaller pools more leeway in order to run a profitable business. If K is too low, then only the top pools are going to succeed. As K gets lowered or as K get higher, so if it goes up to 1,000, then more and more pools can play, and I think it's going to spread it out a little bit more. But it's up to IOG to set up those standards. I had different standards when I made a video before Shelly was existed. I mean, when hit mainnet and with my ideal K values, and it was around K value was around here. I think it was maybe a little bit lower. The A0 value was very high, so it would give people the opportunity to pledge a lot and be competitive with their high pledge. Brew City says days back, I used the quantity of money theory formula to value Bitcoin and ADA. I think I used a velocity number of 5, V equals 5. I got this listening to Lynn Alden. Anyways, both are overvalued. Overvalued using that formula, but that formula may be using a wrong gauge. I'm not familiar with that. I think I heard of Lynn Alden before, but I need to check that out. Paul Joseph says, "What's your honest opinion on why it's taken so long to get on Coinbase? The lesser coins aren't getting on there with no problem. Could it be an SEC security issue? Would love your thoughts." Well, I mean, when I spoke with Charles after the IOHK summit or IOG summit back in, it was this year, wasn't it? Yeah, it might have been this year. Yeah, it was this year. I'm just losing my. Yeah. He says that Coinbase custody is going to be coming first. After that, there needs to be a transition from Coinbase custody to regular Coinbase. So I don't think we're going to be getting Coinbase until I don't know. Regular Coinbase custody will probably get it quarter 4. Regular Coinbase, I don't know, quarter 1, quarter 2, 2021, maybe later. I think it's just a matter of um, creating the platform in order to put the coins onto that platform. You remember how long it took with Bittrex just to get Bittrex working? I'm sure that there are a lot of issues that maybe need to be dealt with behind the scenes in order to create a more seamless experience for exchanges. But we'll be added to Coinbase eventually. Tiago says D0 is also not helping small pools. A0 A0 is not helping small pools. Yeah, I agree with that. William Tado Rodriguez says Exodus Atomic Wallet offers a stake in different currencies with rates ranging from 1 to 23%. Neo, Cosmos, Tezos are some passive income options. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I would always be worrisome though of different wallets offering staking options. I mean, just make sure that you hold the keys because I know that there are a lot of weird platforms out there. I think eToro is one of them, and you never actually hold your private keys. So it's like a Robinhood kind of. So when you have Robinhood and you hold Bitcoin in Robinhood, you don't hold any private keys of Bitcoin. Like they hold your stuff. So you can't really move your Bitcoin off an exchange. You can't really move your Bitcoin off Robinhood at all. So if you're going to use an exchange, make sure you can move it in and out. Brazuka says Rick may know about the checkbox since Digi and Digi2 have it. I think it's a verified status and not sure if it's super relevant in the Pool Tool app. Yeah, these like Pool Tool, it's a great product. It's a great product. I mean, this verification, verified status. I'm not sure exactly how to get it, but it's a third party app, so their verified status shouldn't have no indication of whether or not that pool is good or not. I run Scar, I have the pool ID, check out the stats, and that's what should be your verification status. But I will look into that. I will look into that. Bruce City says, if I recall correctly, I figured BTC's fair value using the quantity of money theory is roughly at $200. Tiago says, made a mistake, not D0, D 50%. D0 help more. Okay. Okay. Jojo Cotro Cios. What about drop shipping? How do you feel about that? Well, that's a big jump. Drop shipping. Drop shipping. What? Just like drop shipping as a business model. We need to drop ship that Monopoly game, Cardanopoly. Paul Joseph. Tiago Nunez says the verification status is a operator proof of participation in ITN. Yeah, well, I participated the entire time during the ITN, so I guess not every operator. I guess it's not for every operator. Sassy Boy says, how will Ethereum 2.0 impact ADA? Seems like Ethereum 2.0 is coming along faster than expected. Oh, I think it's going to have a serious place in the market. I think that Ethereum has some sort of network effect at this point in the game. So if they can produce a product that's better than Ethereum, it doesn't even have to be significantly better. Just has to be it has to decrease the fees a little bit, increase the speed, and maybe provide staking. I think that it's going to have its foot in the door. But at the same time, there's not going to be one currency out there. Cardano is going to have its space where it's going to shine, and if it can perfect smart contracts, I think that it's going to be very competitive with Ethereum. I really do. And there's something about you. I know we live in tumultuous times, but there's something about the scientific method. There's something about using formal methods. There's something about the scientific approach to a cryptocurrency that's going to be very appealing as we move forward into the future, especially with money. When you can create, when you can create something, when you can create a protocol that is founded on research, that's peer reviewed, that's founded on research that is objectively the truth. I mean, peer reviewed is the closest thing that you have to truth in this universe, like in this mathematical and scientific universe, because you're literally saying that you're creating, you're solving a problem, and you put forward the information that you're using in order to solve that problem, and you get experts who are passionate and experts in their field to corroborate your research. So it's backed by scientists, it's backed by mathematicians, it's backed by proofs, and what you're saying can be proven, and what you're saying can be written, and what you're saying can be translated. And then when you amalgamate all those papers, when you amalgamate all that research, and then you create a product, I think that banks, institutions, individuals are going to feel a lot more comfortable investing in that particular product, if that makes any sense. When people want to fly, when people want to go to space, when people want to go hot planets, when people want to go explore, when people want to go to the depths of the universe, they trust NASA. They trust them. They trust them because they are a scientifically based company that have had years and decades of research that are peer reviewed. And this is what gets person A from here to here. And it doesn't always work as expected, but things are always evolving. And this is why you work with this company. This is why you work with this institution. And I think that if IOG can create Goguen in a way that's mathematically sound and that the smart contracts don't mess up like Ethereum, and then couple that with all the papers that they've written, I think that is the selling factor, the sell point to people that are not in crypto. Move everyone that's in crypto already out of the way. People that don't like Cardano for whatever reason or have some sort of vendetta, they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because if we're really saying that we haven't hit mass adoption yet, these people at the beginning, they're more trolls than anything. So, if we're trying to get new people, new money in, this is what they're going to be looking at. This is what they're going to be looking at. Sassy Boy says developers will not move from Ethereum to ADA. They are happy enough. That's perhaps, but they're not all the developers in the world are are using blockchain or using Ethereum. So maybe we can get the ones that are not. Brazuka says Ethereum 2.0 is far from finished. It's like a couple of years, but Goguen needs to be shipped for ADA to take some market share. Cardano can be the leader in DeFi. Formal methods is much safer for DeFi. Well said. Jago Stakepool says CH mentioned on last video something interesting about when Goguen. He said that in 3 days they'll have something to say about, or something like that. Any thoughts on that? I plead the fifth. Tiago Nunez says you need to submit the signature key of your ITN pool and extend the metadata JSON file. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to take. Uh, I'll have to do that. Wei Ming says Goguen ain't gonna launch this year. Tiago Nunez says probably not. We may have multi assets soon. Sassy Boy says most people want things now and are not willing to sit and wait. Just hope ADA will be a real contender soon. I don't think ADA has the luxury of taking their time the way they used to do. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that they need to put their foot on the gas. Now's the time to deliver. I agree. I agree. Because it's been enough waiting now, and now it's time to actually produce and start letting the network effects start to kick in. Tiago Nunez says, we're doing, guys. Catalyst is here. Yeah, Catalyst is here. Catalyst is great. Voting is great. But we also need on-chain governance. We also need on-chain governance. And also, most of these projects that are trying to get funded, they need something to build on. And I think they're going to have something to build on soon, but it may not be full capacity, if that makes any sense. Sassy Boy says, what's your biggest ADA fear? My biggest ADA fear would probably just be just not delivering on time, or delivering too close, like just perfecting products taking too long to perfect the products. Cameron Fraser says Goguen will be released in phases. I think first phase in this quarter. Possibility. I think probably this week, maybe we may be hearing something, or next week, or the week after. I don't know. I mean, we don't have that much time left in 2020, and December is usually the time that people spend on vacation, even though people are probably not going to be vacationing this year. So but we don't have a lot of time left in the year. So yeah, Goguen needs to be there before D equals 0. When is Goguen supposed? When is D supposed to hit 0? I'm not sure what D is right now. I haven't been keeping up. Diago Nunez says multi assets is a Goguen phase. So to me, Goguen is Plutus. We have lots of different definitions. Ada Trader says during the Shelley Summit, Charles says 120 days to Goguen. Okay. Brazuca says, but in any case, I've been following Cardano since 2017. I don't mind waiting another year. Okay. Tiago Nunez says D is almost at 50%. Okay. Okay. Sassy Boy says, if it were not for the bulls running coming soon, then I wouldn't be as worried. We need to take advantage of the upcoming momentum. Brazuca says D equals 46. Okay. 46. So 54% of the pools, 54% of the blocks are going towards community-based pools, or is it 46%? Ada Trader says also recently in an AMA, he said Goguen is not a switch. It will be phased in and features turn on as we progress. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I still don't think that it's going to have full functionality. I don't think it's going to be a completely usable product until time progresses. But we'll see. We never know. You never know. Sassy Boy is, are you holding long or planning on selling at peak of next bull run, then buy back in? I'm not 100% sure. First of all, the pledge that I pledged 150K to my pool. I'm holding that in regardless of what happens. Regardless of what happens, I don't really need that money. I have other cryptocurrency projects which I diversified. So when we hit our next bull run, I'll be able to take off those projects, and then I can keep my ADA investment as is. You never know what's going to happen, but I mean, that's my strategy going forward. But definitely good to take some profits off the table. Definitely. Sassy Boy, are you staking any or all in your pledge? Oh, I'm staking. I'm staking a big bag in my pool. My pledge is 150K, but that's not all my ADA. I'm staking as well, and I'm staking everything to Scar. Fully staked to Scar. I support my product. I support my product. I've been staking since day one. I've been staking my entire bag also during the ITN towards my pool. I it's what I do. I stand behind my product. Brazuca says, yeah, Goguen is very complex, so I'm thinking native assets creation will be phase one, then more complex stuff will be added, possibly. Cameron Fraser says, what's your favorite crypto project other than Cardano? I want to keep that under wraps because I know how the crypto community is. People lose their minds. I do like privacy coins. But I don't have any Monero. I only have 3 coins right now. I amalgamated everything into 3 coins. I have my ADA, I have a privacy coin, and I have another coin. There are 3 different categories of coins, but I feel like they're in 3 different kind of fields. So it's not like they're competing in the same space. So it just leverages things out a little bit more. Brazuca says, I'm a big fan of Monero and also still love Bitcoin. Jago stake pool. So Zcash then? No, no Zcash. Sassy Boy says, "Why is there hostility between ADA pool operators? Is there? Is there hostility? What's going on with the ADA pool operators? I'm not in touch with what's going on with the ADA pool operators beef. I'm not really in. I guess I'm not in any beef with any pool operators." Cameron Fraser says thoughts on Ergo. I think it's a solid project to tell you the truth. I had some Ergo, I don't know, a few months ago before everything. Yeah, I had some Ergo a few months ago. The one issue that I have with Ergo is that whole idea of like the slashing of funds if you keep it in for a long period of time, but it's only a minimal amount. So I think it's over like 4 years it starts slashing. But yeah, I think it's a very minimal amount. But it's like the way I'm in, like I like Ergo as a project, I really do. But I'm in 3 projects right now, and I invested big. I invest big for myself relative to my net worth. So when I get into crypto projects, I want to invest big. I'm at this point now. I've been in there since early 2017, and I'm at that point. Go big or go home. So I put money where my mouth is, and I put the money in the projects. So if I don't feel like my investment is substantial enough, like it turns me off a little bit, if that makes sense. Thoughts on or comments on John McAfee and his arrest? Bruce City, did you watch that John McAfee documentary? That's crazy, man. This is what I don't understand people. The way they idolize people, it's insane. It's insane. I don't I crypto has this kind of anarchy feel and this kind of like buck the system. But at what point the bucking the system does it kind of like conflate with morality? Like if you see something real weird, it's real weird. You've got to watch that documentary on John McAfee. Jeez, it's you got to watch that documentary. I don't know. Formula E says you have ADA, Dash, and Hot. I don't have Dash. I don't have Hot. No, I don't. Um, ADA Trader says I like Ergo. It will do well if ADA does. Yeah, Ergo has a potential of going like significantly up. I think it only has like a $10 or $20 million market cap, which is nice and low. Brazuca says, yeah, I agree with that statement. Same here. Sassy Boy says, do you like Charles doing all of his YouTube videos, or do you think he is distracting the audience on his rants? I haven't watched any of his recent YouTube videos, to tell you the truth. I think Charles has a lot of interest, and I think he's very passionate, and his passionate exudes in his videos. And at the end of the day, I think that if the project is getting done, I don't think there's any issues with him going on rants or talking about other things. I don't see any problems. As long as the job's getting done on Cardano's front, I don't see any issues. But I haven't seen any of his recent videos. I mean, you know, my dog just went through a major surgery, so been monitoring that situation. So I haven't really been in tune with what's going on. Bruce City says I have to watch that documentary. Yeah, let me give you the name of it. Called Gringo: The Dangerous Life of John McAfee. And the weird thing is, you may be able to. It's just weird behavior. It's weird behavior. And whenever someone makes a documentary, the person that the documentary is about always says that nothing in that documentary was true. However, when certain things are said, when certain random things are said, like they're so random, you're like, how did a person think of something that random without it having some sort of truth behind it? I don't know. Maybe it could be false, but I don't know. TC says Cardano still has no smart contract capability. When do you think they will deliver? I think they'll deliver relatively soon, But as far as the functionality of those smart contracts, it may take a while. Like the full functionality. Joe Quinn, what are the three altcoins to invest before 2021 arrives, in your opinion? ADA? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to give any financial advice. I don't want, um, pick and choose which coins you think that are going to fly. Look at the fundamentals, look at the team, look at the transparency, and go with it. Sassy Boy says, "What's your guilty pleasure? Travel, food, games." Um, I like traveling, but I haven't traveled in a while. And I used to play a lot more video games, but since I've been trying to get more focused and build my businesses, I just have been focusing and making sure I hit certain milestones before I deserve to play games. But what do I do? I mean, I do a lot of stuff. I mean, I watch some sports. You know, I like anime. Um, I, I'm gonna get back to playing video games. I'm gonna order the PS5 when it comes out, but it's more like a gift of if I hit a certain milestone, then I deserve it. It just gives me because you could sit there playing video games and then the whole day passes and then you haven't done anything. So I want to make sure that I'm extremely focused and it's good for me. Gary Golden says, "Cheers. I'm still remembering your earlier videos, summer of 2018. Now look at now. There's a growing global Cardano community. Devs coming soon." Gary, I hope you're doing well. And yes, definitely, definitely. Sassy Boy says the challenge is to know how much ADA or dollars is enough. That's a good challenge. But I think that the information is out there. The fact that ADA hit a certain price during the bull run, and if you're a true Cardano enthusiast, and if you feel like all the milestones are going to be hit, whether that's Shelly, Shelly got hit. When we're talking about Goguen or when we're talking about Voltaire, if we hit all of the milestones, there shouldn't be a reason why we shouldn't hit the all-time high at some point in the future. Whether that's 5 months from now or whether that's 5 years from now, it is what it is. So, given that, you need to figure out what kind of multiple that is to the all-time high and divide that by the current price. So, if the all-time high is $1.10 or $1.20 or just a dollar, whatever metric you want to use, and the current price is 10 cents, then at some point we should expect a 10x. At some point. I mean, it could be 5 months or it could be 5 years. I don't know. So, you know, figure out that. Then using that information, multiply what you have. Like if you have $5,000 worth of ADA, that all of a sudden becomes $50,000 if it 10x's. And then look at your daily rewards. What is the USD valuation of your rewards on a day-to-day basis based on an average of 5% APR for or your return on stake for a year. So if you're earning $5 a day, if it goes up by a factor of 10, then you're going to be earning $50 a day at that price point. So is that enough for you to pay a certain bill? Is that enough for you to knock out your car note? Is that enough for you to knock out a utility bill? Or are you trying to supplement your entire income and live completely passively on Cardano? So how much money do you need to live per day? How much money do you want from Cardano per day? Look at the price now, figure out, do you think it's going to hit its all-time high again? Do you think it has a possibility? I mean, if Bitcoin will hit its all-time high eventually, right? It might take years. I mean, what is it? 14,000 right now? I mean, 12, 13,000. It was 20,000 all-time high. So eventually it may hit 20,000 again. So given that logic, if Bitcoin can hit its all-time high again, then Cardano should be able to hit its all-time high again too if it hits its milestones. So use that information and figure out, is that a 10x, 15x, 20x, and figure out how much money you want or how much money you need to live within the Cardano ecosystem or to pay a bill within the Cardano ecosystem in a way that it doesn't touch your principal. So if that was that your $5,000 into Cardano, your $5,000 portfolio, all of a sudden it's $50,000. Try not to touch that 50 and then try to just live off of that staking rewards, if that makes sense. TC says, what percentage are you earning from ADA staking? So if you stake with SCAR, I think it's 5.3%. So minus the operating fee, which is 1.99%, but it's not 1.99%, 5.3 minus 1.99. It's 1.99% of 5.3%. So I said this example before. If you have 100,000 ADA and you're staking 5% returns, you're going to be getting roughly 5,000 ADA per year. I'm not factoring in for compounding your returns. This is just the back of the envelope calculations, and then 1.99% if you're staking to SCAR. So you're going to be paying 100 ADA per year in operating fees, which is 100 ADA per year. I believe it's 100 ADA per year. Yeah. So it's very small. So at that price, like $10 a year or something, I don't know. It's very small. Sassy Boy says 2%. Yeah, not over of your 5%. So it's 2%. So 2%, you have to multiply. So take your ADA. If it's 100,000, you multiply it by 0.05. 0.05. That's 5%, right? Then whatever that amount is, then you multiply it by 0.0199. That's 1.99%. That's what you're paying for an operating fee for SCAR. Formula E says, what are your thoughts about the Shopify proposal? It looks good. It looks good. It looks good. I mean, I need to do a in-depth analysis. I mean, I did do an in-depth analysis, but I thought it was very useful. Shopify proposal is very useful. Whether or not people are going to be using it for their everyday shops, like I think the process is useful. I don't think people are going to be like shopping in ADA. I think that's going to take it's going to take a while, but I think the capabilities are important. Cameron Fraser says, I've got more money to invest, but trying to convince the wife is another matter. Brazuca, thank you. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, mon ami. Sassy Boy, like the video. Sassy Boy, is anyone else guilty of comparing how much ADA you have to others, good or bad? I feel poor compared to what Big Pay has, LOL. Yeah, I mean, I think it's healthy to a certain degree, but it can become obsessive when you try to like belittle your position or feel like you're smaller than someone else. Or like, there's always going to be someone with more money than you and always going to be someone with less money than you. It's just the name of the game. That's how the world works. I think that in order to try to stay focused, you have to try to detach yourself from what other people have or other people's goals are and try to figure out what you want. Try to figure out, okay, this person has this, but like, what do I need for my life to make myself happier? Because at the end of the day, you don't really see these people in your everyday life. If you really have a goal to like pay off your mortgage or pay off your rent or pay off this using your ADA rewards, then that's the goal you need to set. You need to write it down and stick to it. Whatever happening, whatever is happening in the whatever's happening is whatever else is happening is noise. It's noise. JC says, "What's your prediction? Best prediction for Cardano?" Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think it should be able to hit its all-time high sometime soon. Gary Golden says, "Forget trying to compete with fiat. There's more value in using crypto to run applications. This is economy, applications, and user-owned networks, ADA or other native to assets." Yeah, well, let me if ADA hits its goals and cryptocurrency is adopted and blockchain projects are adopted, it really doesn't matter. Like everyone here right now is an early adapter, and you probably will make boatloads of money. I'm just keeping it real. If everything goes according to plan. So there's going to be someone coming in 5 years from now looking at you saying the exact same things of what you say to other people. Puji Max says, what are the better features other crypto projects have? Well, Uh, privacy. I think that's one thing that's lacking within Cardano, privacy features. I'm not sure when that's going to be implemented, but I think that's important. Um, One thing that I wanted to mention was earlier in the roadmap for Cardano, one of the tenets, I mean, if you remember back to 2017, even beginning of 2018, one of the milestones was like human readable addresses. And then we moved to Shelley, where the first addresses are ADDR, but the long string of characters, alphanumeric, are just as complicated as they were before. So I'm not 100% sure why we never moved to human ready readable addresses. I think that would be a huge feature. And that's not answering the question whatsoever. But you know, I think that these are some of the things that need to be put on the burner. We need to put some gas on this because the easier you make it, the easier you make these like readable addresses is it makes it easier for people to interact. I really believe so. Bruce City says I don't I understand French. I speak some French. I'm not fluent, but I understand the language completely. Sassy Boy says, did Charles get his Lambo back from service? His Lambo is in service. Yeah, Charles is young. Charles is young. I heard Solana is fastest from Pujimac. I'm not sure. I've never heard of Solana. JC says, I'd love to use Cardano to send money on regular basis to my family in Venezuela. I wish there was a stronger approach towards usability in developing countries. Yes, I think that's going to come, but I think that what needs to be built out first is dataless. So, I mean, you have your family that's living in Venezuela. If they have a PC or if they have a laptop, even maybe a Chromebook where they can download Dataless. And I know Dataless is a heavy, intensive version, but maybe it could be a Dataless Lite. And then they can create their addresses and you can send your ADA. But within that Dataless application, they're also able to convert to stable coins or local fiat currency or like a stable coin quickly and then cash out to a fiat currency. So you could send them 100 ADA, pay a 0.17 ADA fee. They could quickly swap that out to a USDC or uh, some kind of Venezuelan tether and then, cash out immediately. So you wouldn't have to send it via Western Union or MoneyGram or any of these other predatory services that charge you a ridiculous amount. And maybe, in Venezuela, where they may, in Venezuela, where the currency is not strong at all and there are issues, you know, maybe they can keep it within that stable coin for a longer period of time and only cash out when they need to purchase food or necessities or whatever they need to live. Pujimax says, I also wonder why Polkadot has grown so much. It must have something, perhaps. I don't know too much about Polkadot. Time DJ says privacy was purposely left out of Cardano as a feature set, unless all those engineers forgot. So the answer is why so? Oh, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, there's no privacy. There's definitely no privacy. Sassy boy, yes, LOL. We've been wait. He's been waiting for 3 weeks now. Van Bewley says, "Have you ever smoked ganja?" I'm clean. I'm clean. Cameron Fraser says, "I'd imagine privacy would incur the wrath of Big Brother." I don't know. I don't know. I mean, privacy. I mean, it's privacy is more of just I don't know. I guess there are two sides to the argument because certain people use privacy features in order to evade law. But most people just want to use privacy features to just keep a little to themselves, like just keep a little to themselves. I don't know. You hear all those stories about like those celebrities that are going through these significant divorce settlements, like I mean, I think that's what people think privacy is like for somehow like they would just hide their money in some sort of privacy coin so their significant other wouldn't take it or something like that. But I think there's more of an issue for privacy in the source of everyday transactions. You're transacting with the merchant and they don't necessarily need to know all your metadata or your wallet amount or your wallet address. You send money to me, you buy some merch from the hypothetical merch store for Scar, which doesn't exist. And you send me a message. Hi, my name is Michael. I just sent you this for a shirt. I haven't received it yet. Oh, Michael. Okay, here's the tracking number, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, I'm not a dishonest person, but what if someone is working within my company or within this, and they say, "Oh, Michael has this, sent it from this wallet." All of a sudden, this wallet has this much ADA. There's no reason why they need to know that. There's no reason why to know that. As an individual that has had issues in the past, I lived in Mississippi for 2 years. I bring this up all the time. Well, I don't bring it up all the time, but I bring it up sometimes. You know, my house got ran through 4 times, and it is the most like it's just a terrible, terrible feeling. It's a terrible feeling. You feel extremely vulnerable. You feel exposed. It's a very emotional experience, at least for me. Maybe I'm just hyper emotional. But what does this have to do with privacy? I just prefer that people, you only give the information to people that you want to give out. And, as we move forward to the future and as more people understand blockchain, more people are going to have knowledge of blockchain projects. More people are going to have access. There will probably be apps where you can quickly look up this person, look up a history of transactions where then they'll have metadata to the transactions. This person went to the grocery store, this they spent 8 on this, they spent 8 on that. And moving forward, these I mean it- it's thievery is just going to get smarter and smarter and smarter, and I just want as little information out there as possible. So if that means mixing coins, that's fine. So even if someone finds out your address, they can't just follow your tracks. They can't follow your tracks. You ever notice now, like you're just speaking, and all of a sudden your phone just turns on, and or you just talking to someone, and all of a sudden there's an advertisement on your phone, like a week later, advertising that particular thing. I just want some privacy. That's all I want. That's all I want. Cameron Fraser says Uncle Sam likes to know what's up. Yeah. Dan Best says, "Do you ever see a national election voting on the blockchain, or is that too much transparency?" That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. I think that if it could be done in a private way, I mean, that is a lot of transparent. I mean, there are several issues with that because, first of all, I don't see it's very difficult because there's just a technological gap between people in this country, maybe the older generation and the and the younger generation. People are still having trouble putting their chip inside the chip reader at the grocery store. They have the chip on the card and they're still sliding the card, even though the chip is right there. So you have to make things so easy that people can innately do things, or the technology has to be there for it to be incredibly easy to complete. Whether that means, I mean, maybe they don't do it themselves, or maybe they go to a station and then they just input something and then input their credentials, and all of a sudden they vote, but it's in these specialized booths or something. But voting at home, voting, on the blockchain, in the privacy of your house, on your phone. I mean, it could work for a lot of people, but a lot of people are going to be like, oh, how do I turn this on? Or how do I do this? How do I do that? So I don't know. Crypto Light says, Sir Tony Renesca says, hello, how are you? Van says there will be elections on Cardano. Which wallet do you prefer, Daedalus or Yoroi? From Sir Tony Renesca. I prefer Daedalus. I've been using Daedalus since the beginning. Crypto Light says privacy can be implemented on layer 2. If it is going to be widely adopted, privacy isn't important. If you want privacy, buy Monero or Zcash. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. S. Walker says, greetings, buddy. Wishing you the very best. Been following you for years. You still pumped about Cardano these days and as passionate now as you were in the past. Avoiding the flu these days. Yes, I'm glad. I'm definitely keeping safe, and I've avoided COVID, which is wonderful. And I hope everyone else is doing well as well. Scary times, and been following you. I'm definitely as passionate. I mean, I'm more impatient than I was in the past, only because I want things out, and I want to play with things. I want to. I mean, I'm very happy Shelly was released, but I'm ready for smart contracts. I'm ready for on-chain governance. So maybe I'm getting impatient, but yeah, I'm just as passionate. I'm just as passionate. Pujimax says, what are the direct competitors of Cardano and why? I'm scared I put too much on this project without checking enough of the other horses. Well, direct competitors of Cardano, probably Ethereum. Um, EOS is a competitor. Tezos is a competitor. All those cryptocurrencies that are smart contract enabled, that exist within the top 20, within the top 30, are competitors. But I think that Cardano will maintain its lane. It has a very large community, and there are a lot of passionate people that are building on this project. Bruce City says, yeah, some ex-mafia guys on YouTube have said that if you have big cash and get robbed, it's unlikely it's random. They have detailed how they followed people for months, ran their plates, learned about them. Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Most definitely. It's serious. It's serious. It's serious. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling to be compromised. Nobody wants to get robbed at all. It's not a good feeling. You feel extremely vulnerable, and it happened to me 4 times. So, and I'm just glad that I wasn't home all 4 times. I'm just glad, but it made it a tumultuous experience. Tumultuous experience. And plot twist, it was my next door neighbors. I knew it the entire time. S. Walker says, yes, I get the impatience. Almost like a racehorse that's fed and trained perfectly. Staying in the stables all the time, we'd love to see it run. Yes, oh, definitely, definitely. We've been around for a while. I've been around since 2017. I mean, I didn't start making YouTube videos in 2017, but I started investing in crypto in early to mid 2017. Got involved with Cardano at the end of 2017. Started my YouTube channel in 2018, and I've just been going through it. Sir Tony Renesca says, what pools does the Cardano effect have? The Cardano effect has no pools. Rick and I decided not to run any pools. Bruce City says, no, I was thinking more about your point about privacy coins and privacy features, such as if ADA ever goes up to $1,000 per coin. Bruce City, I'm gonna have to push back on that one. I don't think ADA is going to $1,000 per coin. That's insane. That's insane. That's insane. Bruce City says, I just meant when it went up a lot. Yeah. I got you. I got you. Anyone that's new in the chat, first part of this little live stream, I talked about Binance. Second part, I talked about a game that I created a year ago. Well, I designed, never went through with it, called Cardanopoly, derivation of Monopoly to help educate people about Cardano. I thought, let's slap it on Amazon. Let's boost up this ranking. Let's get people to buy it. And let's get it like a trending toy in game, and let the masses go through with it. I designed all the properties and everything like that, and then I just never went through with it. And then the last part, we talked about some upcoming deadlines or upcoming events such as Goguen. And Plowman says ADA having 54% staked. When the bull run comes, it could get epic fast. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. Pujimax says, I asked few people to download Yoroi to send them some ADA just for them to learn how it works. They know nothing about crypto and would not download it. They may think it's a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, well, sometimes people are going to enter when the price increases. Sir Tony Remeska says, mostly my money is in BTC and ADA, but I am wondering how Zilliqua is able to offer 30% for staking. I'm not 100% sure. And Plowman sounds like a crypto game we could sponsor. Yeah, I was gonna pull it out of my own pocket, but then I feel like then I said I wanted to make money off of it, and then I realized that the ROI is just not there. Pujimax says, "What can I do to promote adoption without being too pushy?" I'm not 100% sure. I think just educating people, maybe showing people what you're making. I mean, or giving people rough estimates of what you're making. I mean, I think that would intrigue people. If you were like, oh, I'm making $5 a day, I'm making $10 a day, I'm making $1 a day, I'm making $2 a day, I'm making $100 a day just on staking, then people would be like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. I want to see what's going on. Then you can start talking to them about proof of stake. Then you can start talking to them about blockchain and cryptocurrency. Then you can, you know, but it's difficult times. You never want to push someone in cryptocurrency or in blockchain that's not ready to be pushed into blockchain. Especially now, people are trying to save, people are trying to be prudent with their expenses. Times are rough. So at this point, it's just about building your bag and just keeping our heads low and just releasing features after features after features. Wow, this was a long lost live stream, 2.5 hours. Sassy Boy says, since Google has the voting app, when will Apple come out with one too? Oh, I'm not 100% sure. S. Walker says 54% staked is very, very solid. I think we can agree. I 100% agree. That's a lot. Hooten says, I showed Cardano to few investors. They told me, even after watching Charles, they still can't understand what it does. Too technical. They said they wanted it in simple language what it does. Fair enough. Ken Carather says, I had the opposite happen. People are blowing up my phone to get the scoop. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. I try not to talk about it in my circle. And people ask me, then they ask me. But you know how it is. Sassy Boy, where are all the ADA that nobody owns yet? Oh, what you mean the unminted ADA? Everyone owns the ADA. Like ADA is distributed everywhere. There's ADA on exchanges. I mean, I guess Binance owns some. Someone buys it, someone sells it. There's not like just random ADA that's not attributed to some address. It's somewhere, either on an exchange or in your pocket. I mean, on your ledger or tracer. When is Coinbase listing? Coinbase listing, I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's probably going to be quarter one, quarter two next year. Fat Puddin', how you doing? How you doing? I like that name. S. Walker, Coinbase after 100% decentralization period. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement to say. Thoughts on interoperability with Polkadot from David Marati? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know too much about Polkadot, but I think that making Cardano as interoperable as possible is going to benefit the project greatly. On the Daedalus website, the Daedalus wallet website, if you go back, if you go to the Wayback Calculator, you'll see that they have the Ethereum Classic logo, they have the Bitcoin logo as coming soon. Those assets are supposed to be, they should have been already put into Daedalus. So if we can be interoperable with other cryptocurrencies, think about Daedalus as a one-stop shop, one-stop wallet where you can interact with other coins. You can also hold your other coins there. You can also trade on this. Sort of works as a DEX. There are lots of different things that happen within that wallet. So I think interoperability with Polkadot would be great. Vince Pool says Binance staking says up to 17%. Even as a stake pool operator, I'm trying to figure out how that is possible. Maybe it's just a marketing pump by a giant. Well, Binance in the fine print, they only have a pot of 1 million ADA, which is about $100,000. So once that ADA, it's 17% up to that 1 million ADA, but it's for everyone. So you're not going to be getting that. It's a lockup day period of, it's actually between 7% and 17%, depending on how long you lock up your ADA, 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. So, and you can only have a maximum amount of ADA actually delegated or locked up. And basically the rewards, 1 million ADA in rewards is not much for the amount of people that are on Binance. So people are just going to be getting pennies, and you're going to be getting a higher rate for a little period of time, but then it's going to return back to normal or probably below normal because Binance is going to be taking fees off of their staking pool and then paying it out to people. But it's a gimmick, and it's very poorly worded, in my opinion. Very poorly worded. Out of all the exchanges, Binance words, um, they word things very poorly, very poorly. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's, I don't want to make any assertions that, I don't want to make any claims that sound in that don't sound good. But like when you look at, like when you compare the exchanges that are not American or not the ones that are not regulated, they tend to have a lot more leeway as to what they say. They just kind of, I mean, they spew legal jargon, but it's not as structured or rigid. So I think Binance falls in that category. Formula E says, do you think ADA price goes down or up after election? Oh, I have no idea. Ken Carather says, link to the 17% claim. If you type in Binance, like 17%, you'll be able to find it. I think it's up to 17.49%. I have the other, type in this, Binance Earn is launching ADA high yield products. Top up the share of 1 million ADA. M. Plowman says, is there an English speaking YouTuber that can tell the Japanese ADA holders? There are huge whales there, and here, when we hear little about them, and this community, yes, Scar. Yeah, there are many big Japanese pools. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't speak Japanese, and I know Charles mentioned to start like putting things in Japanese, but yeah, once again, I don't speak Japanese. I don't know anyone that speaks Japanese, or maybe I do. I don't know, but Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough problem to solve. Old Pa Singh says new ADA is created up to the maximum allowed through monetary expansion, also known as inflation. This is why it is so important to stake to keep up with the inflation. That is 150% correct. Puji Max says, why is the Coinbase listing so delayed? I, it's not, I mean, I don't know where you heard of any promises for Coinbase listings, but I think it's going to come sometime next year. Coinbase custody may come this year, but Coinbase custody has nothing to do with regular Coinbase. Vince Poole says not sustainable. Most stable way of staking is with Cardano community is Yoroi or Daedalus. Pujimak, is Coinbase asking for too much? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. You have to remember that Coinbase is going to be holding IOG's ADA very soon at the end of this year through Coinbase custody. And IOG is going to be paying them 50 basis points on their investment, on how much ADA they're holding. They're going to be paying them millions of dollars per year to hold their ADA. So I don't think that's an issue. CMS says, what is the best Cardano DApp idea that you've heard of yet? I don't know. I can't tell you because Goggen's not out. Marlowe or Plutus is not out. So, like I know ideas are great, but until I see the limitations and the abilities of particular programs or particular languages or what it can do, then I can give you a better assessment of what I think the best Cardano DApp idea is. Sir Tony Renesca is, how much ADA should you have to be considered a whale? Well, I mean, everyone has a different status. I would consider 3 million and up a whale status. Maybe 2.5 now, but 3 million and up, definitely whale status. S. Walker says, the fine print on the Binance promotion is concerning. Saw the must come from KYC source. I don't think Daedalus would qualify, only other exchange. Yeah, get your ADA off of an exchange, guys. Get your ADA off. Fat Puddin says YouTube. I'm not sure what that says. Fat Puddin says this is one of the best YouTube channels out there. I just Google translated it. If you're talking about this channel, I appreciate you. Puji Max says, what is the easiest way to buy ADA from Euro USD? I don't know. What's the best exchange in Europe? Someone help them out. Van Bewley says liquid finance from DC's proposal. I'm supposed to be talking to later this week to DC. We're gonna try to arrange something, so stay tuned. Bruce City says, how many of those Japanese ADA whales are missing pinky fingers? I hope they're keeping their private keys safe. There are a lot of Japanese ADA whales out there. Sassy Boy says, all those stake pools holding ADA and no dabs running seem like an engine running without movement. Perhaps. Vince Poole says, are you looking at the smart contract platform to be part of your passive income other than being a stake pool operator or podcast? Well, I don't really consider, stake pool operator, as a stake pool operator, I'm not making a lot of money at all. So I don't really consider, it's a small revenue stream, but very, very small. I'm seeing how much money I'll be able to make with the smart contract platform, how I'm going to be able to process smart contracts and act as relay nodes and stuff like that. See what the monetization strategies will be there and see what's going on. And podcast is a sponsorship. So, maybe if we get a fund maybe if we get sponsored by the fund, by the community, we can take this more as a full-time gig, even though we spend full-time hours on it right now. Hutan says, what is your guesstimate on Goguen to be able to build smart contracts. When's your guess? What's I think, I think we'll see something by the end of this year. I think we should hear something soon about it. I mean, maybe within the next couple of weeks. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know when it's going to have full functionality. I'm assuming that it's going to go through some sort of grace period, just like the ITN went through some sort of grace period. It took months and months and months before Shelley mainnet hit. And I think that it's going to be the same with smart contracts. Pujimax says, not that I heard a promise about Coinbase, just all the other projects, even the smaller ones, are already in Coinbase. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of projects that are probably and there are probably gonna be more that come before Cardano. Sir Tony Renesca, which stake pool do you operate? SCAR, Scardano, SCAR. Been running it during the ITN as well. Vince Poole, been following you since inception 2018. I believe your podcast deserves the fun. My best wishes. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. We removed our proposal from the fund, by the way. CMS says, what are the most interesting revenue stream ideas for stake pool operators that you have heard? Revenue stream ideas. I mean, the most interesting thing is this processing smart contracts. Like, I wonder how pool operators can scale that up, and like whether or not it's going to pay to bring out the big servers, to bring out the power in order to process these smart contracts, and maybe start selling these services to companies and institutions rather than individual investors. Um, I think that may be lucrative in the future. Dan Best, been steak with Scar from launch. Dan, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. I really do. I really do. That support is what keeps me going. It really does keep me going. Sir Tony Renesca says ADA was on the Coinbase list in 2018. It's 2020 now. Yeah. I honestly don't think that it will be added to Coinbase until 2021, quarter one, at least. I mean, I talked to Charles and that's what he told me, but things could have changed. At least, at least. Sassy boy, where are you located? I'm located in the South, the Southern United States. My location, I've probably said it before, but I don't want to put all my dox myself or anything like that. But I'm in the South. I move around the South. Vince Pool, as K increases and decreases, are we going to see better revenue and decentralization, fair for all? I mean, what's your definition of fair for all? I'm I still think that's like K is 150 right now, and it's not like 150 pools have reached saturation. It's moved across a lot of different pools. So even when K increases, there's still going to be a lot of ADA stuck at the top pools, and I don't necessarily see a problem with that. I just see a problem with the narrative that was spun. I thought that the rock pie narrative, the narrative that anyone can run a stake pool, shouldn't have been marketed like that. I think it should be the more processing power you have. Like, I think most pools, if not all pools, should be professionally run on professional servers and not like home based solutions. That's what my opinion is. Vince Pool said more stable saturation, small pool may see some gains as well. Yeah, I mean, I hear that a lot of small pools are getting blocks and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that as we go down to D equals zero, it's going to mix it up even more. And Plowman, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I've been going for almost 3 hours, guys and girls. So I think I'm gonna sign out. I'm exhausted. It is 11:48 where I am, almost midnight. It's past my bedtime. I don't usually go to bed this late. And yeah, so reach out if you have any questions. Delegate to Scar if you're thinking about delegating to a pool. Look for pools at low operating fees. And yeah, everyone have a good night. Thanks for joining me today. And let's do this again sometime soon. Maybe I'll come back sometime this week. I don't know. I think I'm speaking with DC as well. We'll see. We'll see. I appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your week. Stay safe. Till the next time. All right. Bye.